Welcome to the Coffee with Karen podcast, a weekly chat show discussing everything from holistic health to current affairs from a mental, physical, and spiritual perspective. Get your weekly cup of positivity with a sprinkling of woo-woo.
Hey, so welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday. This is going out live on Mintwave Radio. If you already have the Alexa skill, you can just ask Alexa. Otherwise, go to the website above, mintwave-radio.com. You can download the Alexa skill, or if it's via podcast, you can also download the app for Android and Apple and see the weekly schedule of all of our hosts. Feel free to subscribe to any that take your fancy. Now, today's episode is 179, and today we have Claudia Ricard, who is a certified consulting hypnotist, and we're going to be talking about the importance of clearing past trauma from our lives and the how to. I'm your host, Karen Roberts, helping coaches and therapists to get their message heard to the people who need to hear it. Now, Claudia was born here in the UK in 1969, but she moved to North Carolina in 2019. She's an emotional intelligence specialist, certified consulting hypnotist, Nightingale memory consultant. Oh, she'll tell us more about that. And sleep talk consultant. God, dear, the list is endless. Master NLP practitioner, advanced blast technique practitioner, and a certified havening practitioner. Oh, I know that one. So I'm sure she's going to tell us a little bit more about those different modalities. She just uses these techniques as well as EFT, kinetic shift in her practice, and gives strategies for her clients to build their own inner resources and release old, unwanted feelings. Claudia is passionate about helping to improve the quality of life for not only her clients, but for anyone who wants to create change in their lives. So, Claudia, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, other than moving from the UK over to the US, if you'd like to maybe share a little bit more about your backstory and how you came to be doing what you're currently doing, which is an awful lot.
Yes, but it all combines together. So
Yeah.
it's I pull from this, pull from that, mixy blob it together, and that's what people get. And I've just made that word up, mixy blob. But there you go. Everybody knows what I mean with that.
Absolutely.
It's always been the way I am. When I was at school, people would come to me with their issues, or I would be the person that would tell somebody if they smelt. I was always the person that would do that sort of thing. It's just the way I am, because I do it in a nice, kind way. And then I was doing aromatherapy. I was an aromatherapist in England, and I went to the London College of Fashion, did an HND in beauty therapy. So it's always been with people. And that is how we learn to build rapport. Because when you're seeing naked people doing a massage, you build that rapport pretty quickly. So I've always had that ability to make people feel, I suppose, safe and secure, which we know is a really important feeling. And then as I was in my first marriage, I went on and did counselling. And I don't know if this has ever been your experience, Karen, or many other people's, but often when people are learning counselling, they're doing it because what is going on for them. And I wanted to know what was going on for me. Why was I in this bad marriage? And anyway, that was the start of it. And then I didn't end up finishing that degree because I then did get divorced, because I realized I had a choice. Yeah, big one. Had a choice. That is always one of my biggest words that I go to with everybody. And when people realize they have a choice, it's just, oh yeah, it's that big light bulb thing. I have a choice and it covers every area, doesn't it?
Totally. And like you're saying, a lot of people are feeling stuck because they feel the perception is they don't have a choice, but we all have a choice.
Always have a choice. And when somebody says to me, but I don't have a choice, I go, you do, because actually you can always pray. You can pray to the universe, you can pray to whatever, you can meditate, you can do whatever your thing is. You can sit with it and be with it, and the answers will come. So and then later on, my son had hypnosis for an issue. and I was intrigued. So I got curious. Again, that's another very important thing for all of us to do around people's behaviors, is get curious. So I got curious and I did the initial training. I loved it, absolutely fell in love with it. It was just like, oh, this is what I'm meant to do. So I did more training, got the diploma. Obviously, when a certain age, we then do excellent, don't we? So I got a distinction, and I've just carried on reading, learning, doing more courses, adding to it, and it's 13 years later. This is what you get.
Brilliant. I think does tend to be the flow of so many people who are in that kind of industry where you are serving others and you're helping others, is that it starts with us wanting to heal something or get over something. And then when you realize the power of whatever modality you've gone through, I suppose it's natural for a lot of people to then want to go and share that with the world, because it's like, I was stuck, now I'm not, or I was needed healing and now I'm free. And you guys out there, you don't have to be stuck in whatever it is, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. There is another way. So it does make sense. And if you are, like, I love that word, being curious. And I think we've been conditioned almost to not be curious, because the answers are all out here. The answers are all with an institution or the powers that be, and they have all the answers. And yet actually, when we get curious with ourselves and go inwards, like you say, we can all meditate, and funnily enough, the answers magically appear.
They present themselves, and they just do. Whether it's sometimes being a dream or just somebody you meet by chance on an aeroplane, sitting next to on the train, whatever it is, it'll be like, oh my gosh. Or you read it in a book or a magazine. It unfolds. The teacher will always appear.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So now there's a couple of modalities there that I haven't heard of with what you do. And I suppose, first of all, my background was, I totally get that. You have to know how to deal with people when you see them naked. Yeah, I was a sports therapist for 27 years myself. So I can totally get that. And I always used to work with a chiropractor. So, what little I could do, I could release the muscles enough so that when they went to the chiropractor, it was a less aggressive session. It was easier, there's less pain. And I always used to think all these different people with different tools in their toolbox are all, my way is the only way. Actually, no. There isn't one size fits all. And actually, if people came together or used a combo of modalities, because they're all great, however, it might be better if it was mixed with something else. So I love the fact that it isn't just one thing you're doing. You've got a nice range of modalities there so that you can look at the individual person and create a bespoke package for them. Is that why you do it?
Yeah. Because it's like, and my mind is constantly whirring, and I use my intuition, and sometimes I sit there and I go, okay, and then sometimes I go, oh yes, or if they're in hypnosis, and I almost go into hypnosis myself, and I'm doing and I get something comes into me and I go, you need to do that, you need to say this now, you need to do that, and I never know what that's going to be, so it just comes out, or I go, I got this sense, is this. And it's so, yeah, I would very much work on my intuition about what they need. So I never know I can never tell anybody what's going to happen. I just go, you're going to get what you get.
But it sounds like you're doing energy healing as well on top without.
So, yeah, I didn't put that in the bio. So I've got my level 2. I've got my level 2, and I've done this other training here. It's the Answer Within healing. So I trust in whatever's going to come. And it just does when it's meant to.
Brilliant. And this is where all things I think are moving to, because the whole idea of, if something's wrong, you go to someone to get a pill that's going to fix that thing, is, you don't have to have a degree in medicine or have a degree in biology understand that that's how we came to this position where we think that is still going to work, because we're
I
all
know.
different. We've all got different, like I was speaking to somebody the other day and they said basically 100% of people have some kind of childhood trauma because it's part of life. So that will indicate everyone's going to have different experiences and different, either small trauma, big trauma, whatever that's affecting them. So the whole idea of having a symptom and going to get that fixed is just beyond crazy to me, because that person is different to the next person. So it would make sense to be with somebody that is going to be a little bit more intuitive or a little bit more that way inclined, because there's a lot going to be coming up. So I know today we're going to be talking about the importance of this, clearing past trauma.
Yeah.
Do you see that this is a real, obviously you've been doing this a long time, and out of all the people you help, do you see this as the big thing?
First of all, the body keeps the score. It really does. Bethel van der Kolk has written a whole book on it, and it's a fabulous book, but the body does keep the score, and everybody's is different, like you've just said. Everybody, so some people could be in the same car accident, and how one person perceives it is completely different to another person, because we're all so different. So yes, the band-aid, the plaster that people put on with the pill isn't going to work for everybody, and all it does, in my opinion, is it just numbs it, and again suppresses it, pushes it down, and the people will still trigger at some point and just react or have a behavior in some other way. So it's really important, I believe, to get to the root of the issue. Now, it's not just getting to the root of the issue, because then you would still need to do other things around the behavior. It's a combination. That's why I do NLP. That's why I do this. So I do get to the root of the issue. I do get that released so that they can feel free from it. So it's like when people have as you say, a trauma, significant emotional event, something that's happened, and then they talk about it and it gets stuck here in the throat. And they can feel it, and it comes up the throat behind their eyes, and it makes them want to cry every time they think about that thing or talk about it. Now, I'm not magic. I can't actually take that event away. Plus, we need to get the learning from that, because that makes us. What I can do with people is turn that frog back into a tadpole or frog spawn, so that they can think about that event, talk about that event, but it's no longer like here. It's there, wherever their timeline is, and it's just it happened, but it's got no emotion attached to it anymore. So that for me. Now, if they've created a behavior because of that significant emotional event, we then need to deal with the behavior in a different way, and that is then retraining the brain with NLP techniques or hypnosis, because we need to redo the synapses in the brain, because they've already trained. The brain is, as Norman Deutsch said, it is, and I always call it plastic, but it's not plastic, is it? But it's, what is the word? But it's not plastic. Anyway,
no, I know what you mean.
There's
neuroplasticity.
The
plasticity, yes.
That's the word. I'm really sorry. Telling everybody, your brain is plastic. I don't think so. But there was it can regrow. And that's exactly what I do with the memory coaching as well, because you asked about that with the what is that? So I actually trained to become a Nightingale dementia consultant. I'm not allowed to use that word dementia in the state of North Carolina, so I had to change it to memory, and it's because there's just certain laws and what have you with the psychology board, and that's fine. And that's why I can't call myself a clinical hypnotherapist here in the state of North Carolina, but I can say I'm a certified consulting hypnotist. Again, just all different regulations. Okay, it's word semantics. It's still me. Okay, now, so we can do brain coaching with people living with a neurocognitive disorder, and that really helps them. Okay, so I'm not allowed to do hypnosis here again in the state of North Carolina with people living with memory issues. could do guided imagery, relaxation, word
Right.
semantics. So that, because that's all I would do with them anyway. And it's just, again, because when they are in that state, that relaxed state, their eyes are going left and right, REM, we all know rapid eye movement, and then they're getting a shot of acetylcholine, which again helps strengthen those brain synapses. So it builds them up. So it's a whole collaboration of eating healthily, like mostly a Mediterranean style diet, and exercise, of course. And again, the biggest one, community.
Ugh. Yeah.
Going out, go shopping with your loved ones. It's okay. But then there needs to be certain things in place. So not too crowded, not too busy. You can give, and this is what I do with when I'm doing brain coaching with the whole family, giving them guidelines, things that they can do to make it easier for them, instead of like just that fear minded that, oh no, they've got this and now that's it, life's over.
Yeah.
No, you can live well with dementia. You can live well with a neurocognitive disorder. You can. And that's what I help people get to, that you can do
Oh,
that. And I help the caregivers as well. And I do any work with them. But for me, so that's why I wanted to do the havening as well as the blast technique, which is the havening is a psychosensory
havening,
tool.
yeah, I know
Yeah.
about that one. What's the blast technique?
The blast technique is short for bilateral analysis stimulation technique, and it's very effective, very effective. So I use that as well. But the havening is what I can do on people living with memory issue, and it's because for me, again, it's really important for me to help people if they've got any past significant emotional events, say from, I don't know, any kind of, if there could be any abuse, to release that memory, so that when they eventually at some point, if they do, because they have to go into a home and then they might be getting washed by somebody who might not be as well trained as they could be, and
Mhm.
is not introducing themselves and saying, here's a towel, and do I have permission to wash you down below, and that sort of thing. Then it's because some people, as I say, they might not be very well trained, and they may just pull the covers back, not introduce themselves, and just start washing. If somebody's been
Yeah,
abused, they're going to hit.
that's gonna trigger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to hit them, they're going to lash out. Then the carer, who is not well trained, would then go and complain and say, I got hit. And so that person living with the neurocognitive disorder would then be, say, put in a straitjacket, on drugs,
Oh,
on whatever, and it's downhill from there. So that's really important for me to,
wow.
when they first get a diagnosis, is to let's see, because then they're going to be less angry, they're going to be less whatever. For me, that's really important. And this is
Yeah.
why I do what I do. This is why, because it's very close to my heart, and because and that's why I wrote my book as well, becoming a, sorry, it's the bunny talk process. It's a parent's journey, and the bunny talk process is a little process I developed there for children to bridge that gap if they ever need to speak to their parent and tell them something that happened to them, because that happened to
Oh,
my daughter.
oh, wow. And that
And
just goes to show that she had you. How lucky that she had someone that could understand all of this to help her. Because from what you've just shared there, isn't that incredibly sad that there are people getting to that age suffering with dementia who haven't healed from their past traumas? And that just goes to show that we're somehow, there's a missing link. These children, teenagers, young adults, whatever, are not getting the help that they need to overcome and heal from any kind of trauma. And I'm not belittling any other traumas. Like we say, everybody has some kind of childhood trauma, whether it be a big trauma or a little one is irrelevant, because it can affect them moving on. But isn't it such a shame that there's obviously not enough help at the time, which is why some go on to abuse more. We're repeating a cycle, and others are just triggered, and it's affecting their life in such a way, even into when they're elderly and sadly got dementia. It's a
yeah,
sad state of affairs, isn't it?
yeah, because it's shame. Fear and shame are the two biggest, most debilitating emotions that we can feel. And if they are pushed down, because again, when you think about it, people wouldn't talk about what had happened to them.
No.
because it explodes. It tears families apart. And I know it has done within my own. It just tears families apart. And it's terribly sad. And again, this is my why, my purpose. And it's, for me, it's important on both points to help children be more resilient, more resourceful, have that self-esteem and confidence to be able to say no
Yeah.
or something, so that they don't get to that level when they are perhaps older, and if that does happen to them. And again, throughout their time when they're with their children, because these suppressed things, and they can cause anger or other addictions, other whatever behaviors that are unhealthy. So yeah, it's
Yeah, I suppose it is a difficult. It's funny. We have a couple of people on our podcast network who deal with childhood traumas of certain things. They're not hypnotists, but they work differently. But it is funny that it's like we've got to have the conversation. It's an uncomfortable conversation because I suppose nobody wants to think about it because but it's important. So how do you bridge that gap? Because my kids have always been brought up. We had this conversation only the other day. My youngest is 19. That growing up, I was very open, and I don't care if they say they're my friend. You tell me anything. I don't care what they say to you. And she said that she wasn't scared by it, but she was, just very, it's all right. They tell mum maybe too much now.
mine does now. Yeah, it's like too much information. But
So it is. I do think it's a good thing because, like you say, the shame, guilt, even though they've got no reason to be guilty, but guilt is going to have such a knock-on effect to them when they're older. So it is important to get the message out there and just have the conversation, even though no, we don't want any of our kids to anything ever happen. So we want to wrap them up in cotton wool and keep them safe to get them through to adulthood. And
as parents, we can think it's one thing and it's just not. And the kid will even play along with that, and this can become the movie or the story that we start going on in our heads, because that's what people do. But when my daughter, she came through to me one morning, it was 3:00 in the morning, okay, crying her eyes out. She was 15, and she came through and she said, I need you. So I went through to her bed, got into bed with her, and was holding her, and I said, do you want to tell me? And she's going, no, I can't. And I was like, okay. And then I thought, well, what is it? And then, so of course, then I'm thinking all these other things. And then I did something that we used to play when she was so much younger as a child. Did you ever do hand puppets? Did you ever do like shadow puppets with your children?
yes, yeah.
We had this little thing that we did when she was very little, and it was called Mummy Bunny and Baby Bunny. Okay, so it started from the shadow puppets, but it was our thing. All right, when she was very little, we did days of the week, months of the year, did her times tables, and we had this. But it was always fun. It was always lovely. There was no telling off. It was just Mummy Bunny and Baby Bunny. When she was 15 now, she's crying in bed. Don't ask me what made me do it, but I just brought my Mummy Bunny out. And do you know what she did? She brought her Baby bunny out, which is as big as my Mummy Bunny now, of course, with the little ears down.
Oh, she felt safe.
Yes.
Brought her back to that and could tell it through that.
Yes.
Interesting.
That was the bridge.
Wow.
Because she knew she felt safe and secure, Karen, so that she could actually tell me everything that had gone on, because she knows that Mummy Bunny doesn't tell her off. Isn't that amazing?
Yes, it is. Isn't it funny when you can look back and you think, isn't that came from that time?
Yes.
Oh,
so that's why I wrote a book on it, because I was doing the sleep talk, the Golding sleep talk consultancy thing, which has nothing to do with sleep, apart from when a child sleep. It's the parents do this 2-minute gift that they give to the child at night when they're asleep. So I was training in this. Again, for me, it's really important to build these strong children. But if I can get the parents to do it, instead of the parents always taking their children to every psychiatrist or psychologist around, no, you can do it, parent. Your child just needs unconditional love. Okay. And so that's what I was doing. And I was telling my trainer about this bunny thing that I did. And she went, you've got to make that into something. That is so important. So I did. I wrote, it's only an ebook. It's really short, and but it's a parent's journey through divorce, through best things for divorced children, best things for stepchildren as well, because I've got a stepmother, and then the bunny talk process that I did with my daughter. And it's, because it's about what can young parents do now, right now, to get to have that unconditional love, have that safe space where no matter what, even when they're teenagers, they will feel it's safe to talk to
Yes.
the bunny or the dinosaur, or I don't know, whatever you want,
choose.
bird or whatever you have,
Ah,
that safe space. Because that person, it's all about unconditional love for our children. It really is. No matter what's going on for them, they have to know that you are the safe space, that safety and security, Karen.
yeah, it makes so much sense. And I suppose this is why maybe, I'm not saying everyone does this, but because we have been conditioned, maybe my age group, that if something people didn't talk about it,
Mm.
and so because that's not that it isn't coming up, they're going through life subconsciously reacting to certain things because of this thing. And because if they don't feel safe, they don't feel that they're being heard, because they're not going to talk about it, it's over. And it's interesting, isn't it, that the different sort of styles of parenting, because parents aren't taught this, so they should be. This is what they should be taught to deal with. It doesn't have to be something really tragic, but just anything that if a child feels unsafe or unheard or there's so much, what with social media and that, it could be stuff going on there, the bullying, there's so much going on these days that I never experienced as a child. But do you think things are going to get worse or better because of
I hope better. And that again is because in my book I also put the 10 questions that people need to ask each other, the couple need to ask each other before they even have children, to make sure that they're singing on the same hymn sheet. Because how do you do Christmas? What's the grandparent thing? What's the money issue? What's this? So I'm hoping that people will. Karen, I think there's a lot more awareness nowadays than there was way back when. There's more books, there's more people are asking questions.
And the kids are on
know.
TikTok, so they are more open, they're talking about stuff, aren't they? So I suppose, yes, from that side of thing. But are they, just because they're talking about it, does that mean they're clear? That's not necessarily that they're clearing these past traumas. So how do these kids, adults, whatever, doing a whole age range there, from the kids all the way up to elderly with
I
dementia.
see people, little people are people. So I see people, okay?
Yes.
I don't just need, it's like people are people, whether they're that big or that big. They're people.
So true. Yeah, it's so true. And the older they get, they've still had a childhood.
They're still, even right now, I have my playful inner child in me.
Yeah.
You do. So we're just still people.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not growing up.
No,
That's
exactly.
my problem.
Yeah.
I'm refusing to go into. I don't want an adult, actually. I'm 51 now and I'm bored of this adulting. I don't want to do it anymore. I want to go back to being a child.
Yeah. So we want to play again.
Yes.
And there's always that inside us. So people. Is it going to get worse? I don't think so. I think it's going to get better. I think there's more books, there's more help, there's a whole host of, you have it on here. You have so many wonderful people, healers.
This is what I do. This is what I do all day, and I love it because there's things I've never heard, and I'm like, oh, what's that? What's that then? Because I think it is. I think it's wonderful, and I'm not slating Big Pharma or anything. I just feel that people can be empowered to deal with their own health and their own issues, because you're not broken. You don't need fixing. It's just there might be things that you need to change or be aware of. Be aware of why you're doing something that you don't even really want to be doing, and you don't want the result that it's giving you. So why are you acting like that? Or why? And it's, again, going back to the word you used earlier about being curious. I feel my perception of it is everybody needs to go within and start asking themselves questions, be curious about themselves
Yes.
as to why am I doing this, or
Yes, absolutely.
and that's what I hear. That's what I'm hearing from you is what you're doing is it's actually empowering others, like you're doing with the parents of the kids. You don't need to take them here; you can do it yourself. So you're empowering them to understand what could be going on if there are certain behaviours, and now you can, once you're aware, you can make changes to things. There's like I can remember when my kids were little and I wasn't so aware of all this kind of stuff. And I would maybe say things that my mother said, and I'd catch myself think, oh my goodness, I'm just turned into mother. I'm not slating my mother was wonderful. But it's funny that we just tend to do things that are automated without actually thinking them through and thinking, was that a good thing or was I just regurgitating something that I heard from my childhood, and is it serving them, or actually is it causing more harm? And we can only know this when we do ask the questions, because like I said, I was just on autopilot regurgitating something that my mum told me when I was a kid, and actually maybe that wasn't the thing.
Because you were modeling it, because that's what we do. We model our parents and then it goes on. So it could be like the belief money doesn't grow on trees. So and we end up saying that to our children, and money doesn't grow on trees. And then and then they have fear money, and then they end up having a money mindset, worry about money mindset. And it's all these different things that we can put this belief onto our children. And then they start running that movie through their head about certain things. And so what I say to people, and a lot of it is, we are not our behaviors. We are our good intention. And our good intention is actually always to protect our feelings. So we are not our behaviors. So no matter what, anybody's going to do whatever they do, whether that's eating a lot or not eating, whether it's self-harming, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's going out with your friends and having a great time. Nothing wrong with that. But it's just some are more healthy than others.
Absolutely.
So there are different things that people do. Could be gambling, could be working. You've got workaholics.
Yes.
It's whatever it is for you. There's do-gooders. Nothing wrong with a do-gooder. I'm actually probably a do-gooder because I like to help people. And when I'm doing that, I'm not feeling my own pain because I'm doing everybody else's stuff. I'm not doing my own.
Yeah, unless you set boundaries. But yes, you're right. And this concept of good things, bad for, again, it's irrelevant. Like you say, workaholics, they're avoiding something or something's going on, an unhealed trauma. Do you feel that in general, probably everybody has probably got an issue that then they would benefit, or life would improve, or their relationships will improve, relationships with their kids, their parents, whatever would improve, life would be happier if they actually looked back into anything that has been, for some people I would say for a lot of people it could be unconscious. So how would people know
Okay, so if it's affecting you in any way, if your life isn't balanced or in harmony, if you are getting really irritable with people, if you're not getting your sleep, if this is happening, then those are the signs that there's something. If you are overdoing something, and so if you do a little wheel and you have a center point. Let me just get a little piece of paper here. And if you have the different areas of your life that are important to you, okay? And you can have it in sections, different areas of life. And you might have, I don't know if you can see that very well.
Yeah.
But go like that. Health, spirituality, work, family, other relationships, hobbies, whatever you want to do. And then if you have, say, that is 10 and this is 0 in the middle, and then you do a line of where that is. Now, if everything's around 8, if everything's at the score of 8, and your wheel will then roll, if you put a pencil through that and it will roll, then actually you're in balance. If you've got something that's down at a 2 and something's at a 4 and something's at a 6 and something, your wheel will not roll.
Yeah. Great way
And
of looking at it. Never thought of it like that.
so that will tell you if you might like to ask yourself some questions. Like, what is that about? What could I do differently? Do I even want to at this moment in time? Because you might not. And that's okay too. So we always have to go to acceptance, I think, as well. Acceptance of
Mm.
ourselves. We all have our funny little foibles, and it's okay because there is no
Foibles.
perfect.
Love it.
There's no
Oh,
perfect.
no. And
There
then maybe
isn't.
this is the thing. I think some people in maybe it's in certain jobs and things, they strive for perfection. And I think, oh, that's a waste of time because you're never going to get there. I'm perfectly imperfect.
Yes, and so am I. However, I tell you what, I do want somebody who's checking my aeroplane to be perfect.
Good point. There are some. It's funny you say that because I, even just being a sports therapist, I just go, I'm happy that I know I can't do any damage, basically, unless it's a DVT and I'm totally aware of looking out for a DVT. I'm happy in the knowledge that I can't. And the fear of that, what you just said there, actually would stop me from maybe going into, whether it's because I'd go, oh yeah, but imagine if you did something wrong, you could really do some damage there. And that actual fear of, oh, if I made a mistake, I could cause harm, stop me from doing certain things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes.
I
So like a
felt,
surgeon or a
yeah,
anaesthetist, or
I couldn't live
they
with
actually in their
myself.
jobs, they need to be perfect. So
Yes,
those are the people that need to be when they are doing their job.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
when they're doing their job, and that's fine. Otherwise, in their other life, there can be a balance.
Yeah, I'm
If
okay. I'm happy to not be perfect.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So we can do our best. There you
Yes,
go.
yes.
And so can everybody else as parents. I have messed up so much as being a parent. I really have, and probably still will. I've got just yeah. There you go. I am not perfect, and so when people are saying to me, "Oh, but I shout," I go, "So did I." And sometimes I still might, and then I say to her, "What did we learn there?" Because it's always the learning. There's never a fail in life, Karen. I know
Yeah.
you know this. There's never a fail. There's only learning.
Oh, absolutely. My girls, so my youngest, I'm sure she thinks she's manipulating me not in a good way, but I'm like, I know exactly what you're up to because I can be like, oh, I can blow up, but I don't stay there. So I'm back, and she knows that just go into your room, come back out 5 minutes, and Mum's forgotten about it, and she's just as normal because I can't hold anything because and she thinks she knows how to work me. I'm just like, you know how I am, and if I do get cross about something, then it's a split second done and then done. But yes, it's quite funny for my kids. Bless them. We moved. We left for Portugal. My youngest was born there, but my eldest was 4. They went through Portuguese system. We moved around a lot, and it's funny. I thought that would instill this freedom for them that they can go and do anything, but actually for my eldest, we do the best that we can with the information that we have at that time. And yeah, in hindsight, I don't know whether that life actually worked for her. Maybe she would have been better in the same place growing up. So we can all go, oh, did I do the right thing? I thought I was doing the right thing, going to Portugal and having this life. I still think to this day it was the right thing, but none of us know, do we? And there is no right or wrong. They never had a regular early time to bed because we were teaching fitness. Our life was different to the norm, the standard, but we all do what we can do with what we've got at the time. And
Yeah, and I always say it's okay.
yeah,
It's okay.
yeah,
And who are we to judge and tell people that's wrong and that's right? So I always get this is the information, this is what you could do if you wanted to.
yeah.
And it's your choice. Again, we go back to that
Oh,
word
that's the choice.
choice.
But isn't it funny? It's what we consider the simple things, but that's actually all it is. Don't expect the small stuff because it's all small stuff. It is so true. You know, this whole perception of people feeling stuck when they're not, because like you say, you have a choice, but we get caught up in these stories that we tell ourselves that either we're doing the wrong thing or what's going on. And actually, yeah, everybody does have a choice.
Yeah. We are the movies we play in our heads. Always play a good movie.
Yeah, you can choose another one.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I like that one.
Take it out, like in the SD card in your head. You remember the little photograph, the cameras?
Yeah.
Pull it out, toss it
another
up
one
to
in.
see. Yeah, put another one in. Run another movie.
We take life too seriously. Do you not think? That's why I think everybody needs to go back to their inner child. I think play a little, not take yourself so seriously. It's all okay.
Yeah, I do a lot of laughter in my sessions. There's a lot of laughter. Yeah.
So we talk about people's ideal client. Your ideal client is literally from a child to anybody in their 90s even.
Actually, yeah, it's the person who wants to make change, as I say. So it's not the age, but people who want to make change, people who are ready, people who are so fed up of being like this. So when I say, the child, it's the parents that are now seeing the child. I have seen children, and I get on the floor with them. I draw around their body. Where is this feeling? Where is that? We color it in. We get the cuddly toys out. I say, show me the story. And they have different people for different people of what's going on. I go, okay, now play a different movie. What would you like it to be? Different toys, different whatever. And all sorts of things that I do with children. So there's a host of things. It's about getting creative, getting curious, and it's fun. People are fun. But yeah, my ideal client is somebody who's ready for change.
Love that. And I know you work online. You've got the book. If for any of the listeners and they quite fancy getting that book, how would they get hold of that book?
Okay, so it's on Amazon. It's an ebook. It will not take you long to read. It's not expensive. I think in America it's $2.99. So it's less in England. So it's on Amazon. It's a parent's journey and the bunny talk process.
The bunny talk process.
And it's got a picture of me doing a skydive, doing that. I have got somebody, there is somebody on my back, as in he's doing the thing, but I am doing the process, the picture of the bunny talk. And it's, because for me, parenting is like falling out of an aeroplane.
Oh, isn't it just?
So that's the metaphor. Yeah.
You're boarding your parachute as you go down.
Yeah. And hopefully, yes, but you fall, it's literally free falling. And then when the parachute, hopefully I can be a bit of the parachute to help you yank you back. And then it's a bit of a more gentle landing.
Right. Brilliant. Oh, I wish I'd read that before. My kids are grown now, 19 and should be 24 soon. But yes, I'm happy that I've got adulthood without not too many dramas. It's not all been perfect, but I'm happy that they've landed there safely. But as we said, so many people are going through, and they might not even be aware of childhood past trauma. The importance of clearing it. What are the best ways for people to actually clear?
It's for them. So everybody, some people are, as we know this, they're more auditory, they're more visual, they're more kinesthetic, they could be gustatory as well. So it's whatever's best for them. So that's up for the therapist, their person, to figure out with them. As I say, I personally either use the blast technique or havening to help people. And then I always tidy it up with the hypnosis, with, say, a child work. I use control room of the mind and other various things. There is the kinetic shift as well, which is like literally pulling it out. I give people EFT to use at home. There's, again, for letting things go. I'm more than happy to share my story, letting it go, a monkey story right now, if you want me to. We've got time.
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
So I love stories. Okay, I tell a lot of stories in my work, and it's called My Monkey Story, and it's called How to Catch a Monkey. So monkeys live in the jungle and they go from tree to tree, so we can't catch them. So what we do is we bury a vase, and in America I have to say vase, like that, and we bury it in the sand or the soil, and we go and hide in the bushes. Now, We've already put a shiny stone or some fruit in the vase as well. Okay, now Monkey has been watching you, and monkeys are very curious. So Monkey climbs down off the tree, pops his little hand in, grabs hold of the shiny stone or the fruit, and he makes a fist. And he can't get out. You come over, pop the net over Monkey. Monkey's trapped. Monkey's lost his happiness. Monkey's lost his freedom. If only he'd let it go.
Oh.
Now, what I want you to do now is let it go. So I got this story from the chimp paradox, but I added this bit in at the end. Actually use your hands right now, Karen, and let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. I have thousands of clients who use this. I use this myself, all right?
Right.
Because we are all magnificent trees, okay? So say you're a magnificent tree and these are your branches. And a bird comes and lands in your branch, and a bird is the thought. We all know what happens with thoughts. You get another bird, another in your other branch, okay? And then you've got all these branches up here, full of birds, full of thoughts, and then they make nests, and then they have babies, and then they crap all over your tree. Now,
how true.
And then that usually rises a laugh, of course. So we all have thoughts because we're human, okay? But you don't need to let it make a nest.
Yes.
Okay?
There you go. Don't stay there. Just allow it to pass.
Yes. Wave it away, flick it away, do the monkey story. And if you have to keep doing that and doing it, you do it until it's gone and it works. I know it does, as I say.
There's a lot to that, because I suppose that is in a little bit connection to the havening, because that is the release, like a little deer running away from a lion or something. They shake out, don't they? They shake out, and then once the danger's gone, once the lion's gone after another deer, or antelope, whatever you want, and that's it. They're head down, grazing again, like nothing's happened. But we hold on to that blooming cortisol, don't we? And there is no lion chasing us. It's all perceived fear or perceived stress from work or whatever, family, whatever. And as human beings in this time, I think people are under more stress than possibly any other. Not that I know, this is just an idea, that maybe we're under more stress than anybody suffered with stress at any other time in history. And but we live in much better surroundings, much better health if we actually want to have it. But we're actually killing ourselves because we're putting all this perceived stress, which the body is reacting to as a real lion. And so that makes that whole
shaking it off.
That's why exercise is so important to release the stress. I really feel that people don't want to mean it's got to be taken seriously, because that will instill more fear. But if people could really understand how much all this worry, stress, that is all unnecessary, how much damage it is actually doing to them.
So this is what I say to that, is that actually it goes back to being grateful. At night time, I have my 555, and I write down 5 things that I'm grateful for. Even if that's repeated daily, it doesn't matter. I'm grateful I've got a bed. I'm grateful I've got a roof over my head. I'm grateful I was able to have shrimp tonight. I'm grateful, whatever it is, I'm grateful for. And then 5 things that I've achieved during the day. So even if I've gone for my walk a day, I've done my exercise, I've done this, I've put sometimes alcohol free today. It's like, that's to me is an achievement.
Yeah.
It's so it's making it sound as a drink, but I might have one on a Friday or Saturday. But I don't ever want to do that during the week, because I don't want that. So I actually see that as an achievement.
Yeah, and it is. I used to drink a bottle of Prosecco a night, I think.
And then 5 things that you want to do the next day, even if that's some of your other list. 5 things, and that's your 555. Then you go to sleep at night with that, and you've been grateful. You've done it. You've seen that you've achieved. That gives you confidence. And when I say the things that you want to do the next day, it's not great big massive things. It's just write a letter to get in touch with and check they're all right. And then the next day you can look back and go, oh, did I do that? No, I'll just put it on my list again. because it's
Brilliant.
okay. And eventually you'll do it. But that is the way to build your own self-esteem as well and confidence.
Oh, I love that. Because we don't, again, we've been conditioned to not give ourselves a pat on the back for things we've achieved. It's we've been conditioned to think that's like being, I don't know, you're showing off or it's a negative. Whereas it's the opposite. We should celebrate every win.
Yeah, yeah.
We should celebrate it. But isn't it funny that we've been
Mm.
the way, I don't know, it's our society, maybe it's certain cultures. I know it's in our culture, I know it's
Yeah.
in the British culture. Yeah, no, you don't.
Well, you just
Stop
should be
throwing
able to do that. What's wrong with you? Yeah, you should.
I think it's massively important
Mm.
because otherwise, guess what? We remember the things that went wrong
Oh,
and
yeah.
we forget about the wins that we've had actually, and we're focused on the negative. It's working against
Yeah.
rather than for. It's like some of the things we've been brought up with were not correct. Maybe they were started with another sort of idea in mind. I don't know, but where we are now, I think that's massive. I think that's a great tip for people, not just the gratitude. I have my sort of morning and evening ritual, but I don't. So I'm going to add that to that. The 555. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to change.
And always look from where you've come from. So when you think about this, you just said this was what, 170,
178.
178. Now, this time last year, that was, what was that?
I couldn't tell you now because for the first 2 years we only did one show a week, and now since January I've done 3 shows a week.
So look at where you've come from.
Oh no! Oh,
And
no.
that's amazing because so many people forget to look back and see what they where they've come from. Because when they look back and they go, wow, actually, I used to do this, I used to do that, and that's really good. And now, because so many people just keep pushing the goalpost further and further, I'll be happy when I'm doing an episode once a week. If you then, now it's got to be two a day. Now it's got to be this. And if you only went for that, I'm not achieving. Hang on a minute. Look back at what you've come from. Then you feel the win.
Oh, I think that's massively important, and people don't do that enough. You're right. So that's great tips, listeners. 5 things you're grateful for, 5 things that you've achieved that day, and 5 things you want to do. All these things don't take much time.
Oh, no.
They don't cost anything. But the things that are easy to do are just as easy not to do. However, the big thing is if you can find a way to make a habit out of these things over time, it will make I know that makes a massive difference. I'm very good in the mornings. I have to say I'm not so good in the evenings, and that is something because otherwise you can, if you don't write the things down, you could be thinking about it and it could be stopping you go to sleep, although I think these days it's more the menopause. But that's going to help you have a better sleep so that when you wake up, you're in a much higher vibration. So then when you do your morning ritual, you're going to just raise the roof and then you're
leap into it.
Yes, absolutely. Love it. Look, thank you so much for your time today. It's been lovely chatting to you. So again, for the listeners, if they're watching this, wherever you're watching it, you'll have all of Claudia's links and info down below. But just to the listeners, how do they get in touch with you? Yeah, what can you offer?
So I've got it on my website. It's claudiaricardhypnosis.com. There is you can trawl through that, but there is a free e-guide on there that will give you some tips and tools for you for emotional relief. And there's also 3 relaxation recordings on there. One of them is a mindfulness one, my version of mindfulness, and 2 other recordings that you can listen to anytime. Do not listen to it when you're driving, please. But listen to them at night time. They'll help you sleep. And those are really useful. It's that's a freebie for everybody because it's on my website. If you actually want to get in touch with me, there's a you can just put in your email, contact details, and it will come straight to me.
Perfect.
So I offer a free consultation to everybody, whether it's by Zoom or by telephone. So obviously, if in England, it would be by Zoom. We'd set up a half-hour chat first. And and even sometimes during that, I'm always happy to share. I just am. And I've got a Facebook group, actually. It's called Becoming a Happier You. And that's really good as well. I'm always putting stuff out there. Always am.
Wonderful. Thank you once again. And to the listeners, I will be back on Thursday. with a Coffee with Karen. Bye for now.
Thank you for having me. Thanks, Karen.
Coffee with Karen podcast, a weekly chat show discussing everything from holistic health to current affairs from a mental, physical and spiritual perspective. Get your weekly cup of positivity with a sprinkling of woo-woo.